Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Thor from the Happy Campers team, and today we're going to be talking about F-roads and driving a 4x4 in Iceland. So let's check it out. So the first thing you got to ask yourself is, do I need a 4x4 camper van or a regular 4x4? There are a lot of pros associated with renting a camper van. The biggest one obviously being that flexibility. Driving in the Icelandic Highlands or during winter, you might have to adapt and adjust to road conditions or the crazy weather. So having that flexibility of a camper van is a huge plus. The second thing for me is the ability to store more food and cook wherever and whenever I want. Just that general feeling of self-sufficiency of the camper van I really like. The Happy 4x4 camper van, for example, has a solar panel that's always charging the extra battery, so I never run out of power. Also has a nice heater and it's insulated, so I know that I'm not, gonna get super cold. Cons though, I would say price is the biggest thing to think about. They tend to be a little bit more expensive than regular 4x4s. And you might have slightly fewer options. So if you're looking for like that monster 4x4 with crazy high ground clearance, you might not find a camper van that satisfies all those requirements. But regardless of whether you're going with a camper van or a regular 4x4, how do you choose the perfect 4x4? The first thing you gotta ask yourself is, why do I need a 4x4 in the first place? Is it because you want to check out the Icelandic Highlands? Is it because you're traveling during wintertime? Or is it just because you want that extra safety and peace of mind? So now that you've answered that question for yourself, it's time to look at the 4x4 features and some of the most important things to look at. The make and model, what's the mileage of the van, its ability to cross rivers, does it have a snorkel, for example? What's the ground clearance? But even after you've looked at all the specific features of the camper van, you also need to be thinking about the company you're renting from. Check out their reviews. Do they have a lot of experience renting out 4x4s? And are they giving you a lot of materials and training before they send you out there, on these difficult roads in Iceland? Would they even allow you to drive that 4x4 on F-roads? A lot of companies, I'd say the vast majority of companies, they ban certain F-roads, and some of them up to like half of all the mountain roads in Iceland. We at Happy Campers, we don't ban any F-roads. Our policy is basically, educating so you as an adult can make an informed decision, but a lot of companies do. So make sure you can actually drive on those roads that you really want to explore in Iceland. All right, let's talk about insurance. I know it's boring, but we gotta do it. So in Iceland, it's required to have basic insurance, and that's the collision damage waiver, which basically gives you that basic insurance and third-party liability insurance, but it will leave you with a deductible of around 2,000 to 4,000 euros, depending on the company. What I usually recommend is that you find a way to lower that deductible. At Happy Campers, we have the super collision damage waiver, so you lower the deductible from 2,500 euros down to 800 euros. But the most important to realize is that even though you have the, super duper mega ultra plus insurance, there are certain situations where you're just not going to be covered. And I'll give you one example. When you're crossing rivers, if you're in the Highlands, you're going to be doing some river crossing. If you damage the van while crossing a river, you're not going to be insured, no matter what. Make sure to read the terms and conditions to understand exactly in what situations are you not covered. But before you spend a lot of money on insurance in Iceland, check with your own insurance policy first. And you might even have some insurance through your credit card. All right, so now with the more boring stuff out of the way, let's talk about the Highlands. It's hard to describe how amazing the Icelandic Highlands are in words, so you definitely have to see it with your own eyes. Technically, it's anything above 300 meters above sea level, but more generally, we think about it as the kind of the center of the island. Majority of it are national parks or glaciers, so basically nobody really lives there. And that's where you'll find the majority of the mountain roads, also called F-roads. They're called F-roads from the word fjallavegur, which literally means mountain road. the majority of these mountain roads are in the Highlands. Not all, some of them are, in the West Fjords or along the coast. What you need to know about the F-roads is that you absolutely need to be driving a 4x4 car on these F-roads. And this is why renting a 4x4 can be such an enticing option. A huge chunk, 40,000 square kilometers to be exact, can only be explored in a 4x4. And of course, not all F-roads are the same. Check out the guide that I just wrote on F-roads in Iceland on the Happy Campers website. There I list every single F-road there is in Iceland. I also talk about some of the more dangerous ones. I have photos and videos of each one, so check that out, but also some of our favorite ones. So at this point, you might be getting really excited about renting that perfect 4x4. Before you do that, let's talk about safety. The Icelandic Highlands, or Iceland during winter, is no joke. You have to take safety very seriously. And, just do your due diligence and research. Know about websites like road.is, so you can check road conditions daily or even hourly when you're out there. Veður.is, so you can check the weather, but also safetravel.is. It's pretty important, especially if you're traveling alone, to leave your travel plans, and you can do that at safetravel.is. So definitely bookmark those websites and just take safety very seriously. If you're crossing rivers especially, try not to do it by yourself. If you have no experience with river crossings, consider not doing it at all. If you have limited experience driving on gravel roads, take it very slowly. Be careful when you go from asphalt over to gravel, as that is a very dangerous situation. And just be careful, use your common sense. And the last thing I wanted to mention is off-road driving. That's a big no-no. If you see a road or a path that is unmarked, absolutely do not drive there. Alright guys, that's it for this Happy Friday video. I hope it was at least a little bit helpful, and I hope that you are getting excited about exploring the Icelandic Highlands or Iceland during wintertime, because I think you should be. Happy travels, and I'll see you here next Friday.